Hello, my name is Jade, and welcome to the Connected Podcast by Chrd Magazine. Today we have Bambi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So let's jump in and get these juicy topics that we want. What is your purpose?
My purpose, you mean like as an artist?
Both in life and as artists.
My purpose in life, that's a deep question. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Thank you for being honest.
Appreciate you having me. I'm always excited for an opportunity like this. My purpose as an artist, though, I want to help people. So I feel like my music circles around like mental health, substance abuse, like relationship issues and shit. So like mainly I just want to be able to touch people and like get people out of like a dark place, right? Because I feel like I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and I definitely want to help others that I feel like are going through similar things.
So do you like journal and stuff?
Not really like journal, like in a diary, but like I write music, which to me is journaling. That's like my creative process is writing and getting my feelings off on a notepad so I can circle back to them, record them later.
Respect. You've been making music since you were 13. How has your artistic vision and style evolved over the years?
So it's changed a lot. It started as like pure rap. Some of my earliest influences were like Eminem, Outkast, Beastie Boys. I was listening to a lot of like rock bands like AC/DC when I was younger. So I came out the womb basically just like ready to fucking write music and shit. It's evolved a lot to more like sappier. You could relate it to like Juice World or like Machine Gun Kelly rock type of stuff. And that's just more like as I went through life and as I like kind of got a grasp on what I felt like my music could do for people and what I wanted to do with it, it's evolved in that way.
Okay. Your music has a unique blend of pop, rap, and rock influence. How do you balance these different genres and create a cohesive sound?
So like really for me, it honestly comes real naturally. Like I really never try to force my music. And I go through periods where I won't record for like a long time. And I also go through periods where I'll record 10 songs in the span of like a week. And whatever I'm feeling on that day is kind of like what genre will come out. I like to like keep it very versatile and stuff. Like if I want to make a rap song one day, I'll make a rap song. If I want to make a rock song, it just kind of comes naturally.
Okay. You mentioned that your music has evolved to focus on mental health, substance abuse, and heartbreak. What inspired this, and how do you approach these topics in your songwriting?
That's a great question. So when I was younger, I was going through a lot of those problems. I was addicted to certain drugs. I was having a lot of relationship issues, a lot of mental health shit. And I feel like going through that and being able to like portray it in my own way and like, I would record, I would sit down and I would just like kind of let loose. And I started to realize after a while, like, damn, I can't be the only one feeling this way, or I can't be the only one dealing with like shit with a girl or like shit with addiction. And a lot of people started to message me that were like either friends of mine or didn't know me at all. And they were like, hey, your song really helped me get out of this situation or like really helped drag me out of this like mental rut that I was in. And I started to like look at it from a deeper way than I looked at it before. Like originally I was doing it for fun. And it started to get to a point where I was like, damn, I feel like I should be doing this not only for myself, but for other people.
Yeah.
And that's like how I want my music to touch others, like as I grow as an artist.
That's inspiring. So you took a significant hiatus from music in 2021 and 2023. What promoted this decision? How did it impact your career?
Yeah, so about that, I just felt like I was kind of stuck in the moment. So like I did take a big hiatus. It was like 2 years. And I just wanted to like rebrand myself. I felt like my music had gotten a lot better since like you said, I started when I was 13. So I felt like it had gotten a lot better. And I had shit out on SoundCloud and Apple Music from like 6-7 years ago. And people loved it still. They were like, oh, I really like this song. And I was like, damn, I really wish they could like almost see me from a fresh perspective. And like, I got a lot of backlash when I stopped because people were like, hey, did you quit? Like, hey, why'd you take down all your music and stuff? But for me, it was something that was like necessary to kind of rebuild myself. And when I came back, I was actually like shocked on how much like people still fucked with me. Like I was so worried about like oh my God, it's been 2 years. What if nobody
Yeah.
wants to like listen to me anymore? And it actually like had great feedback when I dropped my first song. And that really pushed me to where I am today. Cause I've been going slower than I went before. I feel like I was like rushing into like releasing stuff and maybe a little too slow, but yeah, I like to take a couple months between songs nowadays.
You never move too slow. When the time is right, you know.
Right, exactly.
So who have been some of your biggest musical influence?
So yeah, like I said, Eminem definitely like one of my earliest ones. Like I was probably put on to him when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, way too early for a young man. But Eminem definitely one of the earliest. I was listening to like Beastie Boys, Outkast, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. Then as I got older, it started to shift to some of the newer guys that we all know and love, like Juice, Trippie Redd, Machine Gun Kelly, Lil Uzi. And I felt like those guys are kind of what propelled me to where I am today. Because, like, that was the music I was listening to in high school. I love, like, Future. I love Thug. So I feel like the modern day influences plus, like, what I knew when I was younger, like, gave me a good clash of my sound today.
Okay.
For sure.
So your music has gained a strong following on TikTok. How has social media played a role in your career?
Social media is huge for every artist nowadays because I feel like, as we all know, like to blow up, you have to be like very adamant online. You got to be like very out there. And for me, I started my TikTok kind of late. Like I wasn't even on like consistent posts till about 2020, but it garnished real quickly for me. Like I had like a crazy aesthetic back then. I had like split dyed hair. I would wear like makeup, like painted fingernails, and people fucked with it. You know, like you get a lot of hate doing shit like that, especially as a guy. But a lot of people liked it, and it got me like a quick following. And like TikTok Live and stuff like that, you know, where you're able to actually like interact and talk to your followers. That was huge. But I feel like in today's day and age, like you can't even blow up. I mean, you can, but it's like a lot harder without social media. So we live in a generation where it's real important to be like active online.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
agree. So tell us about your upcoming single, including Screaming in My Room.
So yeah, I got a lot of singles coming up. My next one is called Screaming in My Room. It drops September 27th in 2024.
Okay.
And that one is... It's a great song. It means a lot to me because when I wrote it, I was in a place where, again, I felt like stuck. I felt like I was cycling a lot. Like I would just make music, which is the whole like scream in my room thing, because I feel like a lot of my songs, I really do be screaming. And I would make music. Nobody would really hear it because I don't drop a lot. So I would never get that feedback that I wanted to get, or I would never get that notoriety, so to speak. And it would just kind of drive me crazy. And I was at a point where I felt like I was like screaming in my room, like, what the fuck? Like, you know, why won't anyone listen and shit? And it really took me to a dark place. And so I was dating somebody at the time, and she was kind of bringing me out of that place. So that's what the song's about. It's about like using loved ones to take you out of like a dark place. And it's real important to me. It's one of my first rock releases in a long time, so I'm excited about it.
Okay, and congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned that your upcoming album, Into the Forest We Go, is the culmination of the past 5 years of your life. What can fans expect from this project?
Everything. So it is going to be everything that everyone's ever wanted from me, like all in one project. And I'm excited to talk about this because this is something, like you said, it's been culminating for like 5 years. My last release, Heartbreak Hurts 3 Times Worse, it was in 2021. And this is set to drop July 17, 2026. So a ways down the road. But we've already started working on it. It's a beautiful project. Like it encapsulates everything you would want to hear, like the heartbreak, the substance abuse, the me growing as a person, the me navigating through life and all the hardships I've dealt with and stuff. And like, I really feel like, so like the Into the Forest We Go, like you said, it's like encapsulates who I am. Like I'm Bambi. And it almost feels like my life is just like a road race through like a forest where I don't know, haven't discovered myself yet. You know, I'm like facing like a sense of like, who am I? Like, if you know the movie Bambi, he like kind of discovers himself throughout the movie. He's like an innocent fawn at the beginning of the movie, and at the end of it, you know, he's like a noble, like everyone fucks with him. He's like loyal to his friends and shit. So it's gonna be like a very experimental album, and it's really about the journey of who I am.
Okay. So if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a great question. If I could give my younger self a piece of advice, what would it be? I would say just keep at it, you know? Don't care about what people think or say, because that was something when I was growing up. I was so worried about opinions, right? I was so worried about, will people like me if I do this? Will people like this song? Will people like, how am I gonna carry myself? And nowadays, I'm just in a place where I love to like just be myself and like do me. And if I could give myself advice when I was younger, it'd just be keep going and like don't worry about people's opinions for sure.
Okay. So what are your like goals outside of music?
Goals outside of music. That's a great question. I don't really have much that I'm like trying. So like, you know, I dropped out of college. I actually like didn't tell you this, but I dropped out of college when I was in sophomore year.
Okay.
And at the time, I like really didn't know what I wanted to do. I like thought, hey, maybe I want to do finance. Hey, maybe I want to do graphic design. Maybe I want to do stuff in music or photo or video. And like, I'm just at a point where I'm just like taking life as it comes to me, right?
That's
So
understandable.
like goals outside of music is just be the best me I can be. Help my friends, help my family, you know, and just keep going.
I like that response. So that is it for today's show. Thank you for getting connected with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.